Representing Japan, it's Jin Ueda and Maharu Yoshimura.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ITTF Seamaster 2017 World Tour Asarel Bulgaria Open, coming to you live from Bydgoszcz, Bulgaria. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobro, and we are getting into the men's doubles final. Jin Ueda on the left and Maharu Yoshimura on the right, both from Japan. Very strong pairing. It'll be interesting to see them play. Maharu Yoshimura is a doubles specialist. He's been quite strong in doubles recently, but here's the Indian pairing of Soumyajit Ghosh on the left and Sathiyan Gnanasekaran on the right. Both players just finished playing an exhausting but exciting and thrilling See It Ultimate Table Tennis, the Indian Premier League for table tennis, which just had its first season and was hugely successful. The Indian men showed that they were very strong in this league, beating players such as Wang Chunting, Marcos Freitas, and many others. Marcos Freitas was quite strong in the league, but Sathiyan Gnanasekaran right there, closest to the middle, with the blue shoes and yellow laces, was the only undefeated player in the entire league. And not for lack of experience either, or lack of exposure. He had to play Wang Chunting, world rank number 7 at the time. So it should be an interesting battle here. We've got right-handed players on both sides of the table, 2 of them. Now that's unusual for doubles. Usually combinations right-handed, left-handed have the advantage, and they try to play that way, especially if it's a national association. For example, you're playing the teams event at the Olympic Games, something like that, or teams World Championships. See the rackets here coming out. So Maharu Yoshimura had quite an impressive streak for a few years and is still strong, but has dipped a little bit in the world rankings. Right now, Maharu Yoshimura, world rank number 31. He's 24 years old. Recently a father. Quite exciting. Jin Ueda there, 25 years old, world rank number 42, who's had quite a jump in his world ranking. Jin Ueda has been known to shock the world. He just sort of shows up from time to time at tournaments. He's one of those players that all the European players know about and all the top world-class players know about, because he's not playing a lot on the world tour, but when he shows up, he's dangerous. It's like a shark underwater that just sometimes jumps out and bites some world ranking points off of the top players. But here he's getting a little bit more experience, as Japan has been investing heavily in all the players from Japan, men's and women's players. Now, similarly, India recently has invested a lot of money and resources into developing their players. Between See It Ultimate Table Tennis having a very successful Indian Open earlier this year, and just trying to work it up at the grassroots, getting more and more people playing, more and more celebrities within the sport, in addition to Sharath Kamal. And I think that was done very successfully at See It Ultimate Table Tennis. Again, both the men and women from India showing a lot of improvement. And on the world tour, you'll be able to see more and more Indian players playing, which should be quite exciting to add to the variety. Now, Sathiyan Gnanasekaran is a great example of when you talk about different physiques. Sathiyan's quite thin. From head to toe, he's not a massive guy, but he's definitely quick. He's very fast and he's very confident. Soumyajit Ghosh, on the other hand, also doesn't look like, say, Usain Bolt, for example, but he's good off the bounce. He's solid on both sides. He's very strong over the table in the flip game. In his loops, he really makes it count. So, I think this will be an interesting battle here. I think the serves of Maharu Yoshimura and the touch of Maharu Yoshimura is going to be tricky. Also, the speed for both of the Japanese players. They're both confident in and off the table. It will be a best-of-5 match. The Japanese pairing, they've got Coach Taisei Kunihito, who's the national team coach, and the head coach for the junior boys of Japan. He's a former national team player. Spent about 3 years playing for the national team. Interestingly enough, Coach Taisei Kunihito played in the 2009 Yokohama World Championships in mixed doubles with his wife. He's also a left-handed short pips J-pen player, Japanese pen hold. Pretty unusual style to see today. So Maharu Yoshimura to start here with the serve. Second bounce right at the back of the table. Contacted at almost the same time. Soumyajit Ghosh. bounce. There's the quick backhand I was talking about. Early in the rally and near the table, Ghosh can be quite effective. Kush, as they call him in India. Now this is that limber shot. Maharu Yoshimura, tallest player on court, is very agile, very limber, very wristy in his shots. Here's a strong, confident counter from Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. Heavy opening spin from Soumyajit Ghosh. We've seen a bit more of India in the World Tour rising in the rankings, but I think now moving forward, we're gonna see a lot more improvements. Excellent placement deep into the body. Ghosh having to run around to try and take that forehand. First towel break, and it's split 3 points apiece. Kick of that ball looked like it was going to break out to the forehand a little more. Looked like he might have put some side spin on it, but it just went straight into the body. Confident flip over the table. Sathiyan Gnanasekaran, both players quite solid in near the table. Bit of pressure here, change of pace. Changes things up. Perfect placement there. Japanese pairing forcing the quick footwork from the middle of the table out wide to the forehand. Jin Ueda with that flexible backhand from the middle of the table. Excellent angle from Ghosh. Again, it's a lot of responsibility. When you're behind the table, you have less angle to work with. So it's difficult to find such a wide shot. A little bit of extra side spin to help it bend away to the forehand side. Now, both of the Indian players have developed, I'd say, the reverse pendulum serve. A lot of good coaching going on in India as well. Massimo Costantini in their corner, the national team coach. Power from behind the table. Yoshimura keeping the pressure on. Second towel break of the game, still dead even. First game in a best of 5, even more important. We're dealing with 20% of the games possible, as opposed to in a best of 7, where it's what, closer to probably 13.5%, something like that. Excellent shot. Again, behind the momentum. Yoshimura moving into the middle. Sathiyan sees that and plays it deep to the forehand side. Jin Ueda in trouble there. When Yoshimura gets that big swing on the forehand, it's going to be very difficult to win the point. Means the Indian pairing is going to have to be very specific about the placement of their shots. Keeping the pressure on. Well-placed, shorter serve, the short side of half long. Very spinny ball from Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. Even Jin Ueda saying, that ball's high. I've got to be able to come down on top of it. Look at this one more time. That ball sits up quite a bit. You could see the way he fans up and over. He needs to start higher. His self-coaching was exactly right. Ooh, where did this shot come from? This is a very unusual shot here, like a fishing backhand. Just gets the racket behind the body, pulls it forward. Wow, what a shot! Sathiyan Gnanasekaran going to the ground to cover this ball. I mean, the angle of the ball coming in was so deadly. Look one more time, Yoshimura. Sathiyan just sliding by like a dancer as he covers that ball and blocks it down the line. 2 game points for the Indian pair of Soumyajit Ghosh and Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. Tomahawk serve. Was not a tomahawk serve. Light underspin, one more game point here. Oh, so close for Ghosh. The pressure, the Japanese pair from way behind the table able to save the point with loops. Far back they are, Ueda getting the full stroke there. You could see his arm come way out in front. They had to cross over each other. 2 game points saved, now the serve at the first deuce point of this match. Once again going to the ground, it's the forehand inside out. Game point once again, 3rd game point for the Indian pair. Unbelievable reaction time, still getting out of the way, taking the ball on the rise. But not here, close but no cigar. Sathiyan takes the ball earlier than most. He knows how to play the high pressure shots. This is what made him undefeated in the Indian League, what helped him beat Wang Chunting. From both wings, but again, timing high pressure shots. 2nd deuce point. Heavy spin once again, the backhand. It's funny the way they celebrate when they high five. I'm wondering if I'm forgetting the score. It almost looks like the game's over. That's how important every point is for this fighting Indian pair. Net post and out. Game 1 goes to the Indian pair, 13-11 over Maharu Yoshimura and Jin Ueda. What an impressive Game 1. Game 2 coming up in a bit. It's a best of 5. You don't want to miss it. Stay right here. So back for Game 2. The Indian pair in the lead, 1-0 over the top seeds from Japan. Excellent placement, testing the backhand side, Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. From that position, Sathiyan's been able to use his forehand on several occasions. It's not going to be an easy place to get the forehand into play, though. I didn't tell you this beforehand, but Sathiyan Gnanasekaran and Soumyajit Ghosh are the 5th seeds in this tournament for men's doubles. And Jin Ueda and Maharu Yoshimura the 1st seeds, the favorites to win. Look at this flip. Just like a pancake, comes in with the open face of the racket, turns it over wide to the forehand. Excellent execution for a difficult shot. Low serve, too. A well-placed serve. Jin Ueda is quite strong over the table. With that backhand opening receive. Comes around. Chiquita goes long. So tied back up, 3 points each. Sathiyan trying the flip, coming around the table. That's interesting. I was watching the women's doubles and thinking about how quick most of the points were. Thinking about how we might see more counter-looping rallies out here, but just here and there. They're both trying to stay in right at the table. I think that's very important. The Indian pair knows that when they back off the table, the advantage is going to go to the Japanese pair. I mean, the same could be said for either side as far as backing away, but in the long counter loop rallies, the Japanese pair should be stronger. So in over the table. Very smart tactical play from the Indian pairing. Excellent patience. Maharu Yoshimura waits very long to see where he should go. Try to read the body language out of his peripheral vision. Deep to the backhand corner, fooling Ghosh. Oh, and then right the opposite way. This is one of the reasons Maharu Yoshimura is so strong in doubles, that he's creative, he's very flexible, he's quite unpredictable in the service game as well. Oh, what a way to handle it, though. That serve is difficult for a lot of players to read. Kick serve, light topspin, and then comes under the ball with after motion to make it look like underspin. Ghosh doesn't fall for it, not for a second. Oh, again, Maharu Yoshimura making an incredible shot. Sathiyan first going to the ground, but Ghosh, it's very tough to predict where this ball is going to come. Hooking off the side of the table. I mean, that's wide to the forehand already, but he throws side spin on it as well. So now the Japanese pair in the lead by 2 at the second towel break of the game. Smart placement. Ghosh plays it down the middle of the table so that Jin Ueda might overrun it, has a less powerful shot. Ueda was breaking out to cover the wide forehand, which seemed to be the more obvious shot, and has to freeze up for a minute. Stop his momentum. Good opportunity there for Sathiyan. Ghosh saying, no problem, no problem. I think that's a very important factor in doubles. That as a teammate, you're not adding any stress or pressure like a good work relationship in the office. Out here, you want to make sure your coworkers are people you enjoy being around and feel comfortable with. This time, the slower spinny backhand works for Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. We've seen this on a few occasions. He's gone for some big backhands that have not come down on the table. Some lower trajectory, fast shots off the bounce. But the high arcing spinny shots, and again, it's all relative, but a little bit slower and more spinny, a bit more effective. Excellent recovery there from Yoshimura off the top of the net. Not an easy ball. Even though it sits up a little bit higher, again, it's tough to tell how much rotation is still on the ball after it contacts the net. Beautiful flip right there. Yoshimura so dangerous on the receive this game, and it's 3 game points for the first seeds in red. Once again, it looks like every time he's going to push it, his flip is so well disguised and so effective. The angle gets a lot of wrist at the last moment, and the Indian pair struggle. The Japanese pair take game 2. We'll be back for game 3 to see who takes the lead right after this. Back for game number 3, and it's tied up at 1 game apiece. Again, this is a best-of-5 men's doubles final. Yoshimura's serve a bit shallow on the table for the second bounce. Can be trouble for a lot of people. Very focused receive from Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. Maharu Yoshimura looks like he was sort of reminding himself of the bounce there. A little bit of residual side spin. Ghosh coming around the outside of the ball on that short stroke backhand. It's one of the most, I don't know, there's so many impressive things about the players at this level, but the fact that their sweet spots are so big and that they can adjust so quickly to a kicking bounce. A little bit of side spin would, for many players, completely throw their shot, weaken it, make them miss the contact. But out here, they tend to be able to adapt. Oh, break off the top of the net, but a powerful shot nonetheless from behind the table as Jin Ueda and Maharu Yoshimura take the point. 4 points to 2, they lead at the first towel break. Oh, short side, beautiful shot, not easy. I mean, we saw that flip once again from Yoshimura. It was quality, and this time it was finally returned. It's been a while. Still a lot of pressure on the Indian pair to make quality shots to win that point. Quite frankly, I think that was a lucky break that it was a let serve. Nice change of placement here. Yoshimura has played about 5 in a row wide to the forehand, and finally he realized they were onto the pattern, plays it into the body instead. This is so difficult. That serve, again, right behind the net, very shallow, very short on the table. Ueda with the bending, hooking forehand. Kick serve causing some trouble. Sathiyan doesn't seem to be happy with his decision there. So maybe why not forehand? Ball's long and kicking. Get a much more powerful opening attack on the receive with the forehand there. Sometimes balls are very close to the edge. To watch the body language of the opponents, just to see. From that angle, much more clear. An aggressive shot into the body, causing some trouble for Soumyajit Ghosh. As we get into the second towel break, I'll tell you, Sathiyan Gnanasekaran recently finished his degree, his engineering degree, so he's out of school and able to focus on table tennis more. So in a country that professional sports isn't quite, say, as much of a job as in certain other countries, it does create a lot of opportunity for him to really improve now. We've seen this in certain European countries as well. Players who are 22, 23 years old start becoming full-time players. Oh man, right off the bounce, a cracking shot. I mean, this is, if this gets returned, it's just one of those things where you can barely keep up watching. Short stroke finishes right in front of the head. His timing, experience, and a very quick turnaround. Wow. From up a few points early on, the Indian pair left way behind in the dust. 11-4, Jin Ueda and Maharu Yoshimura dominating this game. So a 2-1 lead for the Japanese pair. We'll see if the Indians can stop them in Game 4. Game 4 coming up right after this. Players come back for game 4. You had a chance to see Massimo Costantini in the corner, the head national coach for India currently. And coached for India in the past as well. Also coached in Italy, United Arab Emirates, and for United States at the Olympic Games in Rio. Massimo is an 8-time men's singles national champion in Italy. Also pretty hilarious, really nice guy. Excellent off the bounce counter there. Short stroke backhand from Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. Aggressive block, if you will. Nice adjustment from Ghosh. That forehand flip has been trouble. Yoshimura changing up the placement well, hits it right into the body, but Ghosh doesn't commit too early, stays flexible. First point for the Japanese pair in the 4th game. Unbelievable snake from down below the table. Yoshimura putting some heavy side and top on that. Ghosh hangs in there, watches it very patiently. Look at this ball. So much bend right off the bounce. Ghosh's serve drifts a little bit long. Ueda gets the opening attack. Nice recovery. Ghosh chases it down to the wide forehand. Again, this is not the first thing you think about when you think about Ghosh. He removes pretty quickly there at the last moment. He's on the run to save that ball at full extension, brings it back into play. Spinny backhand. Once again, Sathiyan Gnanasekaran with that effective heavy topspin backhand. There's a lot of pressure in general to be aggressive when you have the opportunity to attack, but if you're very comfortable and confident with you and your teammate, the spinny opening backhand can be even more effective at times. Very close to that deep corner of the table, the edge for Yoshimura. Just a little bit deep on the table for that flip. He's still capable of making it, but it's going to be a tougher shot. Also the pressure of the third ball, well, not third ball, I guess, but the counter forehand waiting on the other side of the table adds a lot to the pressure you already have. Wow, love to see that one again. Not sure if that came off the top of the net briefly, but it was right down the line into the body of the player who just hit the ball. But here Massimo in the corner. Come on, right here. Cheering on his Indian team. This ball creeps off the top of the net rather, into the proper side of the table. Outstanding counter loop rally. Every shot in this rally. These are the types of points that make it into the highlights. Just a little bit longer, a few more shots, but a lot of pressure from both sides. Again, the counter looping rally from behind the table. I would favor the Japanese pairing, but the Indians take the point. Almost slaps it back into play. Yoshimura trying, last resort. Little help off the top of the net, sets up Sathiyan Gnanasekaran for a kill shot. So right here, Ueda recovers it. We've seen Yoshimura make shots like that before. Quite a spectacular player. Probably the best showman on the court right now. Backhand to backhand pressure. Jin Ueda with the finishing shot. Remember, for context, right now the Indian pair needs to win this game. If they don't, match is over. Title goes to the Japanese top seeds. Excellent recovery from Soumyajit Ghosh off the top of the net, and then a little fortune back at the end of the point. High arcing spin ball just long. That's the sorry about the top of the net. Unintentional. Proper etiquette in table tennis for an edge ball or a net ball that gives you an advantage. Let service, they're gonna play that again. Yoshimura already had his finger up, quite clear. Oh, a break again off the top of the net. If Yoshimura doesn't go for it, you know it is very difficult to reach. It's got to be out of reach. We've seen him dive, we've seen him recover almost everything. It's 5 game points for the Indian pair. Not this time, top of the net and down. 1 game point saved, 4 left. Soumyajit Ghosh and Sathiyan Gnanasekaran. Perfect setup. Soft touch from Soumyajit Ghosh. And a lot of hesitation on the Japanese side. Look at this ball right here. Jin Ueda thought he had a chance. Sathiyan Gnanasekaran right into the body. Not even a behind the back shot will reach this one. Maharu Yoshimura starts to put his racket behind him. The Indian pair sends this to a deciding 5th game. Don't go anywhere. This could be an epic finish. Let's find out. Game 5 coming up right after this. Back for game number 5, and it's tied up. It's the 5th seeds in navy blue and orange versus the top seeds in black and red from Japan. India versus Japan. Maharu Yoshimura to serve. Just a little reminder in case it gives you any context. The Japanese pairing, Maharu Yoshimura, world rank number 31, Jin Ueda, world rank number 42, so both players inside the top 50. Outstanding recovery, a Hail Mary reach back shot. Gnanasekaran keeps it in play, and it comes down deep on the table and high. Jin Ueda going aggressively down the middle. This one gets away from him. I was gonna say on the other side of the table, the Indian pairing, Ghosh 86 in the world. Gnanasekaran 90 in the world. So we've got 2 players in red in the top 50. 2 players in navy blue outside the top 85. Really, really dark navy blue. Close to black. So an early lead here, but just by 2 points. Again, they will switch not only sides of the table, but order of play when one pairing reaches 5 points. Opening backhand from Ghosh is trouble. Aggressive attempt for a low trajectory down the line shot from Yoshimura. Outstanding counter. Jin Ueda chases it down. The punch down the line from the Indian pair. I mean, this is really impressive play. One of the top few points in the match for me. First towel break. And it's a 4-2 lead for the top seeds from Japan. play serve if Maharu Yoshimura can't flip it. It's a pretty amazing serve. Again, we've seen Yoshimura be so deadly on those forehand flips on the receive. This one sneaks past Ghosh. Right down the middle of the table, Jin Ueda with the loop. So we'll switch sides and order of play. Here's a look. Very low shot, nice forward motion from Jin Ueda. Don't use the term drive too much on the backhand, but it definitely felt like that trajectory. So timeout here, the Indian pair are gonna have a word with coach Massimo Costantini. Just a bit too much lift here. I think that's a misread of the rotation on the ball. It's one of the many difficulties people have with Yoshimura's serve, that shovel serve. Sometimes kicks, sometimes comes around the ball with a bit more underspin on it. His variations are subtle, but plentiful. There's a lot of different serves he can do that look the same. Seems like there's a lot of conversation about the over-the-table play. In the short game, in the receive game, everything else, high fives all around. They're back to the table, so the Japanese pair will have to join. Crowd definitely quite excited to see a tight match here. A bit of an unexpected match. Again, India's history in table tennis is not nearly as rich as that of Japan and a few other countries. So they're sort of the new up-and-coming country, one of many, but the most, I'd say, recently improved, most recently devoted to table tennis. Right into the body, the crossover points. Not the first time we've seen Jin Ueda try to get on top of a ball that was played almost into his right shoulder. This is unfortunate for Ghosh. High pressure shot, Gnanasekaran gets back into play. Ghosh trying to keep it very deep to the corner. Make sure that Jin Ueda doesn't have a clean forehand, because when he has that full stroke forehand, he wins a lot of points. And here runs around for the Chiquita, plays it wide. Very impressive second towel break of the game, and it's a 4-point difference here, a 4-point lead for Jin Ueda and Maharu Yoshimura, just 3 points away from taking the title. Heavy push, stays a little bit shallow, and Ghosh doesn't lift enough. Quality touch play in the short game from the Japanese pair. Once again, the spinny backhand from Sathiyan Gnanasekaran has been trouble throughout this match for both players. Flip anywhere on the table, Maharu Yoshimura can hit the ball so effectively, and he's got another chance here. It is 5 championship points. Flip again in the follow-up attack. Jin Ueda takes it. A strong performance to take this to game 5 from the Indian pair, but an even better performance from the top seeds, Maharu Yoshimura and Jin Ueda of Japan. The 25 and 24-year-old respectively have taken the title. We'll see them later on the podium. Very strong performance again. Maharu Yoshimura, such a key ingredient to doubles victories. A world champion with Kasumi Ishikawa in the mixed doubles. And now a champion here in Bulgaria at the SRL Bulgaria Open 2017. We've got 2 more finals left. It's the women's singles final coming up next. Mima Ito versus Kasumi Ishikawa. And after that will be Kenta Matsudaira versus Dmitry Ovtcharov. Don't go anywhere. It's just getting to be more and more fun here at the Bulgaria Open. See you in a bit.
Но това не достигна за да спечелят матча. Йошимура забеляза класата му при посрещане, добрите флипове, добрите отигравания. Джин Уеда в точните моменти правеше точките, макар и да грешеше през по-голямата част от матча, но смелено спечелиха матча.
Видя се и британите, японската школа, няма нужда от коментар, още повече предимно отсъствието на китайските и корейските представители, които се надяваме, разбира се, живот и здраве, ако всичко е наред в организацията, да видим до година тук в панегюрище. Дени, благодаря ти за компетентния коментар. Вярвам, че си помогнал на нашите зрители да вникнат малко повече в детайлите на този толкова труден и динамичен спорт. Тенисен. Аз се стискаме палци на теб и на твоите съотборници в националния отбор.
Благодаря, за мен беше удоволствие да коментирам този финал.
Благодаря и аз.